and welcome to Down to Earth. I'm Daphne Richards. Our question this week comes from a great one from our viewer. Her name is Betty, and she has a brown turkey fig that every year in October it loses its leaves. They shrivel and turn brown and then fall off of the plant. Last year, she cut the plant back to 12 inches from the ground, and it did grow back to lush 8 feet tall. Then the leaves scorched and dropped off again. So she wants to know what's going on with her fig. Well, this sounds to me like fig rust, which is a fungal disease that unfortunately will likely return and must be managed. With all fungal diseases, you should definitely remove the affected plant material from the ground and keep the area very clean. So those leaves that scorch and fall off, you need to rake them up immediately and toss them out. Rust is most easily controlled with a neutral copper spray, products such as copper hydroxide or copper sulfate. 1 or 2 applications made in May or early June usually keeps these trees in fairly good condition until after the fruit ripens. In very wet seasons, 1 or 2 additional applications may be necessary. A good index for spraying is when the first leaves on the tree have reached their full size. So go ahead and treat preventatively at that time if you've had a problem with fungal rust in the past. The second spray should then follow in 3 to 4 weeks after that, and in excessively wet seasons, 3 to 4 weeks after that again. It's extremely important to get good leaf coverage with this spray material. But copper is fatal to bees, one of Betty's concerns, so do be judicious in spraying it, or if you have a real concern about that, consider removing the plants entirely and starting with a totally different shrub. Our plant this week is Swiss chard. This plant looks great and it's edible, so it's wonderful in your garden. You can plant transplants now, or you still have time to direct seed these into your garden. This is one of our most easy cool season vegetables. It does prefer cool weather, but it can also tolerate freezes and even some of our heat. It loves full sun, but it can take a little bit of shade. You need to water it well in the summer and harvest only the leaves that you need when you want to eat them. It will produce more leaves and may live for several seasons if you harvest judiciously. If it bolts, which means if it produces a flower stalk, you need to remove that to encourage leaf production. That will keep the flowers from producing seeds and so keep the leaves producing for you and keep the plant from dying, which it will do after it bolts. This plant is ready to harvest in about 60 days after you've seeded it, and good varieties for our area are Bright Lights and Rainbow. To do this week in your garden, add some manure or compost to your vegetable beds for the spring season if you have no plants in them now. Manure does need 3 months to age in the soil so that it won't burn your plants when you plant them soon. Compost needs at least a month, but your plants are less sensitive to that than they are to manure. We'd love to hear from you. Please visit klru.org/ctg to send us your question or a plant of the week from your garden.